Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we examine news and stories from our city, our state, and our country, along with your questions, comments, ideas, and suggestions on how to be more connected to one another and to our city, Puerto Vallarta, as a community of English speaking locals. It is a great day today, and it's a wonderful day to see you. Today is Tuesday, March 29th. And as always, we have a collection of news and this, that, and the other. And I can't wait to get started. But first, as always, if you are joining us for the first time, please feel free to let us know by adding the word new to your comments, and we'll be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. If you have something really important that you wish to share, kind of like Deb saying, ooh, a color. I know. I abuse my t-shirts. I'm the first to admit I can be very lazy about getting dressed sometimes. But yes, a color. And why not? I bought a lilac polo shirt over the weekend. And what a mistake that was, because I don't have any pants to combine it with. So after over a decade of only wearing khaki shorts, I may have to buy a pair of dark navy blue pants to go along with it. But you're not here to know about my clothes. You're here to make community. You're here to learn about all kinds of wonderful things that we have put together. So we are just going to dive into the news and forget about what I'm wearing or what I'm not. Let's go there. Okay, where are all the people that are missing their COVID vaccines? I suppose local health authorities are asking this same question, as there weren't that many people showing up yesterday during the first day of the triple vaccination campaign that is taking place in town through Wednesday. So if you haven't gotten your vaccine just yet, this is the time to do it. Remember, it's a triple campaign, so you can get either your first shot or your second shot, or get your booster, and there are no lines. Moving right along, local public works authorities continue to announce ongoing repairs along Puerto Vallarta's main artery, Francisco Medina Ascencio Avenue. Concrete is now being replaced along the main southbound lane right around the naval zone, or before reaching the maritime terminal. That would be the stretch between the maritime terminal and Medina Vallarta. Authorities are hoping to complete these repairs by Saturday. And of course, Semana Santa is around the corner. Speaking of closings, and thanks to Noticias PV, we are able to take a closer look at the way the government is addressing access to Colonia Buenos Aires, Paso Ancho, and beyond, given the fact that the road is closed. As you can see, as we mentioned yesterday, there's this photo here that shows a makeshift dirt road that has been put into place along Margarita Maza de Juarez Street, crossing the river onto the other side. So folks living out there are not completely um, out of communication. This will continue, of course, for some time. And let's hope that advances are made on the road before rain starts. Rain won't start until June, but still, these things take a while to happen. Let us turn over to the weather, which I haven't even turned on. And while I turn Carrot weather on, I would like to tell you that we're going to play a special game today in the comment section because we're going to, it's time we acknowledge those of you that are not full-time English-speaking locals, but one way or another are a very important part of our community. And you can tell I'm killing time because for one reason or another, our weather forecast application is taking a little longer to show up, but here it is. Let's go there. Oh dear. I hope I don't offend you, but I seem to be having tremendous difficulty with my lifestyle, says Snarky Weather. We don't know exactly why he says that, but what we do know is that it is 27 degrees right now. Humidity is a low 34%. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 81%. 81 degrees, my bad. And our weather forecast for today says clear through the day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature of 16. Tomorrow, Wednesday, will be another clear day with a high temperature of 30 and a low temperature of 15. And then Thursday will be a partly cloudy day with a high temperature of 29 and a low temperature of 16. You're probably wondering, where is Taco Tuesday? Well, we had every intention to go and have Taco Tuesday yesterday at this new taqueria here in Versailles called El Itacate. I walked past it with some friends the other day, and they said, well, we've been in Sayulita for many years, and now we're here. And I figured, well, this should be fun. And then I went looking for them on Facebook, and their Facebook page is not ready. They have the Facebook page for Sayulita, but not for here. So I couldn't find out if they closed on Mondays or not. So long story short, I didn't get to Taco Tuesday yesterday. Plus, I received, I must confess, a spectacular invitation to have dinner with some dear friends last night that I simply couldn't resist. But I will walk next to this new taco place today. And if they're open, maybe some tacos are due. Before we continue with the rest of our headlines, I want to offer another friendly reminder that daylight savings time begins on Sunday. So don't forget to advance your clocks 1 hour on Saturday evening before going to bed. And now we have a story about the plane. The plane. First they tried to sell it and they failed. Then they tried to raffle it and they failed. Now, the presidential plane will be made available for rent for private trips, weddings, and quinceañeras in order to cover its maintenance cost. What are we talking about? Well, we recall that prior to Andrés Manuel López Obrador becoming president back in 2012, in fact, that is 2 presidents prior, former Mexico President Felipe Calderón decided it was time to get a new set of wings to travel from one place to another, initiating the purchase of a Boeing 787 Dreamliner that ended up being outfitted with more bells and whistles than Obama's plane. Then former President Enrique Peña Nieto used it and became a popular target for López Obrador while he was campaigning for president, accusing Peña Nieto of opulence. And ever since he came into office, López Obrador has been trying to get rid of the darn thing with no success. So now the presidential plane sits unused, but it has to be flown from time to time, otherwise it deteriorates. And then the maintenance cost, whether it flies or not, is not a small bill to pay. But hey, you need to get somewhere in a hurry, but don't have $200 million American in your pocket, you can rent the plane instead. Like if you need to get from one side of the Cuadro to the other, maybe, or maybe not. We have a catapult for that. Moving right along, we have a couple of music-related things to share with you. First, we start with the piano, the musical instrument many of us grew up in playing, and some of us went on to study formally. As you know, the piano has 88 keys. And back in 2015, German pianist and composer Niels Fram had a simple and pure idea. Why not celebrate the piano on the 88th day of the year? Because it doesn't hurt to celebrate the instrument and everything around it. Performers, composers, piano builders, tuners, movers, and more important, the listener, those of us that enjoy piano music. Ever since then, we celebrate Piano Day on March 28 or 29, depending on whether it is a leap year or not. So I read this morning and thought to myself, what can I recommend? And I closed my eyes, and the first piece of music that came to mind, and let me say that, I mean, piano is my favorite instrument. There are tons of piano pieces that I know and love, but for better or worse, the first piece of music that came to mind this morning is a gorgeous rendition by Keith Jarrett of Over the Rainbow, the 1939 song composed by Harold Arlen with lyrics by Yip Harburg, written for the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz. Keith Jarrett performed the song live in Tokyo in 1984. And if you have heard Keith Jarrett's music, but you have never seen him perform, it helps to know a little bit about this very, very talented piano player who has since crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. I think he passed away last year or the year before. I don't remember. But anyhow, Keith Jarrett was an amazingly talented jazz piano player who would just sit at the piano and improvise. He sold out live concert after live concert in which he would just sit down at the piano. He would improvise. Sometimes he would improvise on music that was in his own head. Sometimes he would improvise on well-known popular songs, such was the case with this version of Over the Rainbow, which is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to leave it for you to enjoy in the show notes. But be warned. For better or worse, the way Keith Jarrett moves while he's playing the piano can be somewhat distracting to some of us. So you may want to close your eyes while you listen to this, or at least know ahead of time that Keith Jarrett moving about the piano while he's playing can be a little distracting. And why not? We have recommended this documentary before about the 1-year process of making a Steinway concert grand piano from scratch and mostly by hand. So we're going to recommend it again. If you haven't watched it, note by note, the making of a Steinway piano is definitely worth the watch. What is your favorite piano piece? If I have plenty, as I said before, but the Keith Jarrett was the first to come to mind this morning. Please feel free to share in your comments what is like an amazing piano piece for you. And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be classical. There's some great piano playing, or for me, there's some great piano playing by so many composers, from Billy Joel to you name it. Even Liberace, we have to love. And I have one more music thing that has nothing to do with anything, but this brought a smile to my face this morning. I must admit, I don't know much about Coldplay, the British rock band formed in London in 1996, but became rather intrigued after reading this note earlier this morning. While playing in Monterrey, the capital city of the state of Nuevo León, and also the city where I was born, a young man flashed a sign that said, "Can I play Gravity on the piano with you?" Well, before you know it, they do say, ask and you shall receive. There is a sweet video here of the 19-year-older performing the song on the piano next to lead vocalist Chris Martin. But the video that truly made my day was the one of Chris Martin having learned the Corrido de Monterrey, which is my city's anthem. So he learned the Corrido de Monterrey, the official anthem of the city, and performed it along with thousands of adoring fans. It totally blew my mind and totally made me become curious about this band. I must know some of their music, but not knowingly. And last but not least, we are going to set up for your comments by paying tribute to those of you that are not English speaking locals. We're constantly celebrating the fact that we are English speaking locals, but it is undeniable that Coffee and Headlines has also garnered the attention of many friends that keep a special place for Puerto Vallarta in their hearts and memories while not living here full time. So today, we pay tribute to you and ask you to share the things you miss the most so that those of us that do live here full time can take stock and truly appreciate our surroundings even more. So, as I get started with your comments, oh, wrong, no, I didn't mean to put that one up. We played that game before, but we haven't played this one. Puerto Vallarta, oh, how I miss. Please fill in the blanks as we get into your comments this morning. And let's see what we have. Lots of good mornings, as we love those. From Kansas, Woodland Hills, around the corner. Amiga Luisa appreciated the content that we shared for subscribers yesterday about salsa matcha. Thank you very much. Salsa matcha is tricky because it's very strong and it's very spicy, but used in moderation. Oh my goodness, it is my favorite Mexican salsa. Great for refried beans. Now I crave that. Let's see what we have. Uh-huh. What? A collared shirt? Sure, why not? Uh, Going somewhere special? Yes, today I have to walk for tomorrow, so I have to go walk for Wednesday. Let's see what else we have. Before I forget, something that I meant to mention yesterday and I forgot to mention yesterday. Through the weekend, we talked about going to check out the lucha libre, the wrestling, and I received a couple of messages from people saying, "Oh, we'd love to go to the wrestling," and I would love to go to the wrestling, but unfortunately, I spoke too quickly, and I have a previous engagement on Sunday, so I won't be able to go to the wrestling. But if anybody decides to go to the wrestling, please bring a camera. Let us know how it went. Speaking of clothes, Amiga Luisa says, I abuse my muumu's house dresses. You know, I wish I was a girl just to wear a dress from time to time. Well, I wear a dress from time to time when I'm in the house because it lets all the parts, move about freely. Too much information, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what else we have. Gary says FDA just approved the number 4 for 50 plus here. Of course, we don't know where here is, but good for you. Let's see. Ronald is going down the restaurant list. Bonito Kitchen this evening, going down the list. I love it. I've been twice to the new location, and I have determined to go through the whole thing. That would be a good poll. When was the last time you wore pants or jeans? The last time I wore pants, in case you're wondering, was when I went to that. Where did I go? Oh, I was a judge for So You Think You Can Rise, and the previous time that I wore long pants was for the December 30th concert at Teatro Vallarta. So my last 2 times wearing pants, and it was the same pair of pants, was at Teatro Vallarta. Let's see. Patty has 200 million in her pocket. Patty, I hope you become a Coffee and Headlines member already. And if you are, thank you for your support. How about more coffee? No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Alan, we didn't know this about you. Worked in aviation for over 20 years, most recently outfitting Boeing business jets. Well, there was that scathing documentary on the Boeing 787, I believe, on Netflix. That was really, really crazy. Then I see some recommendations for piano music. Jenny likes Eric Satie. I love Eric Satie. I like David Lance. Thank you very much for that. I see a Google search for Coldplay. Thank you very much, Ed. We will share that later on, or we'll explore that later on. Um, um, Not one specific piece of music, but anything that James plays is my favorite at the time. Fair enough. Um, Charles says, I'm still standing by Elton John. Good for you. Um, and then I suppose these are things that people miss. Kathy says she misses black licorice. I didn't know that black licorice was a special thing for Puerto Vallarta. Amiga Luisa says sunny days. Charles says he misses feeling welcome. The sound of birds, I take them for granted, but every time I go out walking and I'm paying attention to the audio now, wow, there's a shitload of birds out there. Um, Sherry misses walks along the Malecon and in Emiliano Zapata. Walking. Oh, Albert, carnitas. Yes, I would miss carnitas if I was not here. Deb misses tequila and friends. Diane misses street taco stands. Oh my goodness. All the things that I absolutely love. Ronald misses the three-wheel taxis. I didn't even know we had those here in Puerto Vallarta. I've seen them in in other places, but not in Puerto Vallarta. Fascinating. Have you seen three-wheel taxis in Puerto Vallarta, peeps? I'd love to know. Oh, Alan, I don't understand this, but hey, Pancho's Tacos after standing in line for almost an hour. I have to say, I love Pancho's Tacos and I love their food, but given the choice between standing in line for an hour and walking for 20 minutes to so many amazing taco stands nearby, I think I choose the latter. But hey, to each their own. Ramona misses a cocktail on the beach. I love it. Oh, Meggie as in Peggy gets specific. My favorite piano composition is the Trio Number 2 in E flat major for piano, violin, and cello by Franz Schubert. Ooh, that is so specific. I will have to Google that. I'm quite fond of Chopin's four piano ballades. I think they're absolutely stunning works of music. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Harold says, I miss a real Jewish deli with fat corned beef sandwiches. I had no idea that we have a real Jewish deli with fat corned beef sandwiches in Puerto Vallarta. Please do tell where that is located, because I thought that a real Jewish deli with fat corned beef sandwiches could only be found in New York City. Please prove me wrong. Javier, thank you for that. I haven't worn pants in 3 years. If I didn't want to schedule a visit to Guadalajara next year, I would continue to not wear pants. But in Guadalajara, wearing shorts, you do stick out like a sore thumb. Let's see what else. Harold misses walking past strangers who say good morning. Well, Harold, that's one of my favorite pastimes, as you know, just saying good morning to people in Spanish, and a lot of times looking at people's reaction when they are from elsewhere. Russ misses walking the Malecon in downtown neighborhoods and experiencing the many excellent restaurants. Someday I hope to be an English-speaking local. I just heard of a new restaurant on Basilio Vadillo that is charging a small fortune for ribeye steaks. I won't be paying for that. And I don't remember the name, but somebody told me this is a new restaurant in Basilio Vadillo. And I wonder, is it inflation, or are we also paying for the restaurant's rent? Dory likes Sergio Mendes in Brazil 66. I have a very special place in my heart and memories for Sergio Mendes in Brazil 66, because it was one of my father's favorite groups, and we played his albums ad nauseum at home. Um, oh, I think some of us thought being here, what do we miss? No, 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 no. We're playing a game that pays tribute to people that are not here. We can play that game some other time, Kathleen. Living in Puerto Vallarta, what do we miss from elsewhere? But right now, we're addressing um, what people that are not living in Puerto Vallarta are missing. Let's see. Alan is missing local craft beer, Tyka's beer, artisan beer, rather. Da 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 da. And I think we've reached the end of your comments. Yes. Unless somebody comes up with fascinating comments in the next couple of minutes. Um, Javier misses Victor from Victor's Place. I'm afraid I'm not acquainted, but good for you. Let's see. I think we're there. Yes, we are at the end of Coffee and Headlines. Felix is missing a cold slushy from Blondie's. I haven't had the pleasure, but definitely will give it a go next time I find myself on Basilio Vadillo. Diane misses the ability to walk far on a daily basis. See, there are all these wonderful things that those of us that live here full time can remember to go and enjoy. So if you are living here in town on a full time basis, let us not forget all these things and let us find a way to celebrate them and enjoy them. I say this frequently and I'll say it again when I find myself needing to charge my, thank God I'm a local, batteries. I go out and spend time with people that are new to the city or having a new experience, because seeing it or experiencing it through their eyes always nurtures my soul. So my wish for you today, if I may, is that you'll be mindful of all these wonderful things that are part of our local experience. Let us go out and enjoy some of that today. And if you want to, feel free to check out some of those piano links that I shared with you, or celebrate the piano with whatever piano music you choose to celebrate. Thank you very much for another broadcast, and I'll see you again tomorrow.